FamilySearch has recently released the new version of their person profile page. And within the past 2 weeks, I've seen a lot of changes. The other problem that I have noticed is that not every user has the exact same view. We'll talk about that today. Howdy, my name is Devin Noel Lee with Family History Fanatics, and if you're new here, I love helping you climb your family tree and have fun along the way. So at the time of this recording, this is what the new page looks like. One of the things that has changed is that up here, you used to have the life sketch. I think that people aren't using the life sketch very well because FamilySearch has moved it to the bottom. Down here, you can see the brief life history. Now, one thing users have noticed is that if they previously had information in the life sketch view, FamilySearch has made a change. I previously made a video about FamilySearch. It doesn't really change your family tree. However, if they're trying to nudge users into a different behavior, they will do that. And I have found this to be true in some profiles. So what they've done instead is taken your brief life history and moved it over to the Collaborate tab. And you will often see some type of note that's in the Collaborate tab. What do I think FamilySearch is hoping to accomplish with that? What I've seen FamilySearch try to imply is that if you're putting some kind of don't merge this person notice in FamilySearch to try to get people to be careful as they're merging sources, rather than using the life sketch for a brief biography, FamilySearch has tried to move that over to the Collaboration tab. Now, one thing you can do now that wasn't done before is you can add a note. Let's say people frequently merge Elmira Young with Elvira Young. Previously, you would put that in the life sketch because that's the first thing people see. However, with this new note field, I can click an alert. What happens when I click save is if I go to the details page, notice this big warning sign that FamilySearch is putting in front of you saying, important research has been done on this person. Please read these alert notices before making a change. You click on that, and then you're going to see, don't merge her with Elvira Young. Isn't that handy? So for those of you who are really trying to grab the attention of people who are creating incorrect merges on FamilySearch, this is kind of handy. But before you start abusing the alert system, I really hope you don't abuse the alert system, make sure you have the receipts to back up your claims. There are people that are doing accurate merges, but there's users who are saying, I don't like you merging my profile with my own profile. No, that's not the nature of a collaborative family tree. But if you can prove that this person does not belong with that person as a merge, or this person is not the child of this person, they're not born in the same place, they're two men with the same name, marrying the same name women, having the same name kids, but they go in different directions, make sure you bring those receipts before you tag that alert. So that's a really new feature that I don't think many people are appreciating just yet, but I was able to use that in a number of recent profiles, and it is kind of nice. So let's scroll through this page one more time, and you're going to see a couple of things that you may or may not like. So scrolling down, we still see the vital information. Not much has changed in that section. I have my events in a timeline view. Other profiles have it changed to a 2-column view. I didn't really like that 2-column view, but stick around. I'm going to show you how you can set this up for your own preferences. Now, in a recent video, I talked about where can you keep track of custom and typical facts in FamilySearch, and it was a great video, and then they went and changed the profile page. Now what they have done is they've broken up events and facts. If you saw that previous video, you saw that they have the events and facts all in one list. And now they have actually broken it up. So you have all of the events here, and then you have facts down below. That's a really neat feature, splitting those up so the facts are together and then the events are together, because some facts don't really connect with a specific date and they kind of get lost. There is another feature that I want you to pay attention to that was really handy, and we talked about this recently in a live stream, and that is this field called Other Relationships. This is awesome. So here we have Add Other Relationship, and when we click on that, we can go find a person. So all you need to know in order to find this person are biographical details, so they can be found in the FamilySearch family tree, or an ID number. So here is George Barton Geisler. Now he is my grand uncle. He is brother to my grandfather, Robert Paul Sr. But down below, I am now able to record a fact that is kind of interesting. George's godfather is Samuel Bailey Barton. Now, Samuel Bailey Barton appeared in the Geisler family Bible, and for years I couldn't figure out how they were related. One thing you should always do in genealogy research is talk to your family members. I was fortunate enough to talk to the sister of George Barton. She finally told me, hey, guess what? Samuel Barton is George's godfather. He was a neighbor, and then there's this whole big long story of how this Samuel Bailey, who had no children, is related to the Geisler family. There's even photos of Samuel with Geislers, so he's part of the family. What other options for other relationships can you choose? Let's go ahead and click on Add Relationship, and we can choose apprentice, employment, enslavement, household, neighbor, or relative. That's a lot of different options. And if you offer feedback to FamilySearch, I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Who knows what other options there'll be by the time you watch this video. This is really handy, especially if you're doing cluster research, which we have talked about on this channel as well. If we click on Samuel Bailey Barton and click on his profile, and then we're going to scroll on down to the bottom, notice how there is a cross-link taking place. George is linked to Samuel, and Samuel is linked to George. Now, one other thing you need to keep in mind is, let's say, for instance, let's just pretend for a moment, we'll not actually go through this, but let's go down here to George Barton, and let's pick his elder sister, Marguerite, or Aunt Margie. I'm going to go ahead and copy, just click copy, and notice the ID is copied to my clipboard. Pretty handy. So I'm going to navigate back to Samuel Bailey Barton, and you can actually add this in either location, but just to keep this simple, I'm going to come down here and pretend for a moment, add other relationship, add person, click by ID, and now I'm going to put Margie Wasson ID. She married a Wasson, that's why I call her Margie Wasson. That's how I knew her. If I click Add Match, we are going to choose Godparent. Now, by coming into Samuel and adding her as an other person and choosing Godparent, I have the relationships correct. However, make sure you look at these headings. Samuel is the godparent, Marguerite is the godchild. If those aren't the way they should be, then you can go ahead and swap the locations. And now Marguerite is the godparent, and Samuel is the godchild. We know that's not the case, but being able to swap it back and forth really helps. So it doesn't matter what profile you go into to add these other relationships. Once you're there, then make sure that the names are correct in how you want them to be. If they're not, click that swap button. It's really handy. So let's look at a few more features that FamilySearch has at the time of this recording. Now look at this, add a note. Well, that's new. I didn't see that yesterday, but we can add a research note. But notice this is very similar to what you can have on the Collaborate page over in Notes. They've just pumped it up into 2 locations. It remains to be seen if this stays here or not. I kind of like it being there. Very few people realize there's this collaborate tab and people are leaving messages and questions and so forth. So this is kind of nice that they're bringing it to the home page. Take advantage of the latest changes. This hasn't changed all that much, but there is something new in the tools section that many people are going to want to take advantage of, particularly if you want to move the life sketch back up to the top. So we're going to click on My Layout Settings. And notice if we come back up to the Other Information section, we have the option to do the double column. And now look how the events go into a double column. The break is based on how do we make this layout look pleasing to the eye. Personally, this double column thing really hurts my brain. It's hard to go down and then try to go up. Now, I recognize this might be a visual space saver, but my brain doesn't work that way. I need a timeline that is linear without double columns. But if you do like that option, the double column, you can click it here, or you can go back to the single column. Thank you, FamilySearch, for not forcing all users to do the same format. Some of you are going to like it, some of you aren't. Let me know in the comments which one you would prefer, double or single. Just put that, double or single, in the comments. The other part that you are going to enjoy is that you can rearrange the widgets. We have the vitals, we have the other information, we have the family members, we have the other relationship, the brief history, and there happens to be some other stuff down here, but this is only because this pop-up window is over here, so it shoved everything kind of down. What if you want the brief history up at the top of your page? So if you use your left mouse button, click and hold, and move it up, notice you now have the brief history at the top. Now, some of you really don't like scrolling all the way to the bottom to find family members. So you can grab the family members and move those up as well. So you can customize the section order any way you want. Now, this is one thing that not all users may have at the time of this recording. I was in a Facebook group and there were a lot of complaints of the brief history being shoved to the bottom. And I said, hey, just go to the My Tools and rearrange the section order. And the user that I was interfacing with said, I don't have that. So we talked about, did you have the same browser? Did you refresh your browser to make sure you have the latest version? We troubleshooted a lot of things and she still didn't have the same view that I have. I'm hoping you have the section order rearranger. That way you can have FamilySearch look the way you want it. This is one time where I actually do like the ability to customize your view because it doesn't affect everybody else. It just affects you, and that's a lovely change. So FamilySearch, kudos for that section tools to customize things the way a user prefers it. Now, there's one more thing that I want to show you before we leave this video. While I would love for you to tell me your feedback and comments about the new profile page, it really helps my business here over on YouTube. FamilySearch doesn't necessarily read your comments. So how are you going to let them know, hey, I don't have this My Layout settings. Hey, I really wish you would move this, that, or the other. You see this little tab that's just been hanging out on most of the pages? It doesn't appear on all pages, but when it does, take advantage of it. So we can click on feedback. And the first question it's going to say is, share your experience with the new design of the person page. You can say, I love it. I like it. I'm kind of neutral. I just wanted to give you a little feedback. I just like it, or I absolutely hate it. Well, I kind of like it. There's a couple of things I might want to improve. Go ahead and give them information about your experience. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you want changed? And so forth. And then include an email so they can ask follow-up questions. Now, I can't promise that FamilySearch is going to make all the changes that you suggest, but many of us have really good thoughts and ideas, and the engineers will read these comments and consider them and decide whether they can make your changes. So give them feedback. Give them praise if you really like it. If you really like that section order tool, then we And you and I, because I like it, need to go and say, hey, I really like that tool. Thank you so much. Whatever you do, do not change that. Let us have that option to keep things customized. So that's my hot take of the revamped and revised profile page on FamilySearch. I hope it looks the same by the time you see this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on them. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment for me about what you thought about the tool or other ideas you have for videos about FamilySearch that you want me to make next.